Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well today and ready for another exciting meeting at the Future Leaders Scalpel Club. My name is Angelina, and it is an honor to be your club president, and I would like to officially call this meeting to order. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of our guests, and we sincerely hope that you will enjoy and learn from this experience. The Future Leaders Scalpel Club is a Toastmasters club open to middle and high school students in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Each meeting has three parts: a prepared speech section, a table topics section, and an evaluation section. So to start our meeting tonight, I believe our Toastmaster is Devin, but he is not currently here. So is there anyone that would like to fill in as the Toastmaster for today's meeting?
Angelina, Devin just sent me a message that he's gonna not be able to attend the first part of the meeting, so he asked if I would be able to do the Toastmaster. And I can do the Toastmaster role.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for letting me know. With that, I'll pass it to Caleb to introduce our functionaries.
Okay, thank you. First off, let me do a quick roll call. So we have speaker one, who is Kara, who is currently not here. And then we have Table Topics Master Kayla, General Evaluator Angelina, Speech One Evaluator Caleb. Then our Outcomes report doesn't look like Hillary or Amelia are here. Sarong does not appear to be present, and Eliana is here, and Angelina is here. So we need a. Would someone like to be Augramarian for tonight? Augramarian. Basically, you're the all counter and the grammarian all in one. Okay, would anyone like to take this role? Selena, are you interested in taking this role?
Sorry, I can't. Right.
Okay, no problem. How about Kayla? Would you be interested in taking this role?
Um, sure.
Okay, I believe Eliana can send you the instructions for that. And then in the meantime, well, this involves Eliana too, but could you briefly share with us the timer's instructions, please?
Okay. As the timer, I will monitor time for each speaker. Throughout the meeting, I will listen carefully to the program participant and signal them. I will use green at the minimum required time, yellow for the middle of the expected time, and red at the end of the allotted or agreed upon time. I will also record each participant's name and actual time used. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Eliana. And I'll give you a moment to send Kayla the instructions for the grammarian and all counter report. And then in the meantime, it looks like Kara is not here. So Angelina, have you heard anything from Kara regarding if she's able to make it tonight?
No, I believe I have not heard anything. Um, in the case that she doesn't come, I do have a few ideas of what we could do. But I think if after we finish roll call, we can probably do table topics first.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Angelina. So Kayla, do you believe you are ready to share with us briefly what the all counter and the grammarian does for the meeting?
As the all counter, I will note words and sounds used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, you know. Sounds may be er. And then as the grammarian, I will listen for word of the day. Wait. which is breviloquent, and I encourage anyone speaking during any part of the meeting to use it. Throughout the meeting, I will listen to everyone's word usage and write down any awkward use or misuse of the language. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Kayla, for explaining to us the all counter and grammarian's reports. And now I will pass it back to Angelina to move our meeting forward.
Okay, thank you so much. As we're waiting for our speaker to arrive, I do have a couple of activity ideas that I brought. So I would like to see which one you guys are interested in. So the obvious ones you could do are the mini debates or Eliana's idea about the I couldn't disagree more um like game. And I also think it would be good if we could also another idea I had was where one person starts a story and the next person would just continue that story. That's also a classic one. And another possibility we could do is two truths and a lie, but you have to actually describe the experiences. And for the lie, you have to oh, I think it's here now. So I think we can start with the speech, and if we end up needing something to fill in the time, we can vote on which one of those activities we would like to do. So Kayla, would you like to introduce Kara?
Sure. I would like to introduce our first speaker of tonight, who is Kara. And Kara, do you have a speech title for tonight's speech?
I guess you can just call it college apps.
Okay. The title of Kara's speech tonight is College Apps. Please help me welcome Kara.
Thank you so much, Caleb. I want to apologize first for being late. I just was doing work and lost track of time, but now I'll just begin the speech. College apps. Did some of your hearts just sink a little bit? Well, it makes sense. For most of us who are nearing senior year, college applications are poised to become a big fixture of our lives for the next few years. And maybe for a few of us here, it's a source of past trauma. But for most of us, I don't think it would be outrageous for me to assume that even if college isn't for a few years, you might already be thinking about college applications. And take it from me, as a high school junior, I understand that feeling. And while I by no means want you to ignore your college applications, today I want to convince you to care just a little bit less about them, because they should not define our lives as students as much as they do. So you may have heard the phrases live in the present and do what you love thrown around vaguely, but in this speech I want to concretely show you my interpretation of what that looks like. And the first of these two phrases that I will focus on is live in the present. And in order to explore this concept, I want to talk about a damaging mindset that a lot of people have, and it's what I would like to call a suffer now, play later mindset. Not to be confused with the work hard, play later mindset. That one's all right. But what I don't like is a suffer now, play later mindset, which is the evil evolution of what work hard, play later becomes. Because mindsets like suffer now, play later are mindsets where you end up staying up late to finish homework because you convince yourself that you'll just catch up on sleep the next week. And what that might turn into is accepting being very stressed out during high school because you tell yourself that you'll just be happier as an adult. And maybe you know from experience, but typically just telling yourself that you'll do things better in the future doesn't really work out. The suffer hard, play later mindset might motivate you to do work in the short term, but in the long run, it's not a good way to live your life indefinitely, And it's also a little bit delusional. Let me display this a little bit better. You know how nostalgic you feel for childhood now? Well, in 10 years, you're going to be nostalgic for teenhood. And then as an older adult, you'll feel nostalgic for being a young adult. And I say this all not to depress you. It's just that we need to remember that life continues after we turn in our college applications. And you can tell yourself that suffering now for a reward later will just be your mindset during high school. But when your life becomes that later, there will be another goal that you're working toward, whether that's a job or a promotion or retirement. And if that suffer now, play later mindset sticks with you, then you could continue to torture yourself until you reach your next goal on and indefinitely, until one day you're incredibly burnt out and you're tired of life and you wonder what all of it was for. So, what is the alternative? What would a good mindset be like? Well, as cheesy as it sounds, I think the key is not to think of your life as a series of goals, but as a series of journeys. You're not living for the purpose of getting into college right now, at least you shouldn't be. You should be living to learn, to breathe, and to make a difference in the world, and to do what you enjoy. So, yes, there will always be another goal for you to work toward, but if you allow yourself to enjoy life as you work toward it, then that's not so bad, is it? So, live in the present. Don't spend your life hoping for something in the future. If you are finding that life now is unpleasant, you should make changes, because it isn't worth it to shove down all of your suffering. So, drop a class or quit an extracurricular. It's okay to do these things because you need to know how to protect your well-being, for now and for the future. And now for the second phrase, do what you love. Now, this phrase, again, might seem a bit obvious, but what I mean is this: don't curate your classes and extracurriculars in order to meet the requirements that you think the college wants from you. For example, maybe you're taking a lot of difficult STEM classes, even though you would rather do humanities, and you're doing this because you want to show academic rigor for your college applications. But consider it from a different perspective, because if you care more about the appearance of doing something rather than the thing itself, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that thing. If you love the humanities, then that's probably what you should do, and there are ways to show rigor in that. More important than taking a lot of hard classes and things you don't care about is things like for humanities, for example, advocating for social issues or publishing a book and showing that you care about things enough to make an impact in the world. And this goes beyond just your classes, because I can't tell you at my school how many fake clubs there are, which have been started by people who just wanted to put "I started a club" in their college applications. And I can tell you it's very frustrating if you enter a group that claims to care about something that you care about, only to find out that nobody is really willing to put in effort to make a tangible difference. So again, if you don't care about something, don't do it, because you will be happier and feel better about yourself, and that is important. But also, even in college applications, putting another generic club is not that useful if you don't have anything to really say about it. So, if you do things that make you feel fulfilled, then you will naturally look good in the eyes of colleges, and you will take away so much more from your experiences. And as I'm wrapping up, I would like to highlight one last thing, because maybe you think that everything I've been talking about does not quite apply to you. Maybe you think that your life is going fine and is not dominated by college applications. But I think it probably matters to you more than you think it does, because for me, just today, I was speaking to my counselor about next year's classes, and you know what he said to me? He said, Don't let the colleges dictate what you do. And I thought, huh, I knew that already, but I guess when it comes down to it, it's really easy to forget. So, when you're deciding where to spend your time, whether that's choosing classes, signing up for clubs, or just anything, I implore you to think a bit less about future applications. Remember first to live in the present, and second, to do what you love, because that will be the key to success and fulfillment throughout life, which includes the present day. Thank you. Back to you, Caleb.
Well said, Kara. I wholeheartedly agree with all your statements, and that was a very, very thoughtful speech. And I wish you all success in your college applications next year. But I'm confident that since you are someone who has taken the time to choose classes and activities that you're interested in, you'll find the process a lot more enjoyable. So it'll still be somewhat stressful, but it'll be manageable. So don't worry too much about it. So great speech, Kara. Okay, now we're gonna go move on into the table topics session led by Kayla. Kayla, take it away.
Okay, so our first question is, would you rather be the funniest or smartest person in the room? And this question goes to Angelina.
Thank you for the question, Kayla. If I could choose between being the smartest or the funniest person in the room, I would probably choose to be the smartest. Although being funny definitely has its perks and helps you make friends very easily, I feel like being smart would be more beneficial in the long run since it means that you would have less stress overall. And I think a lot of smart people are still able to be socially, still able to connect with a lot of people and be a social person overall as well. And I think overall, both being funny and smart both have their own benefits. But for me, I would prefer to be the smartest in the room. And I also enjoy helping others. So by being the smartest in the room, I hope to spread my knowledge and help others as well. And although being funny would be very nice as well, and making others laugh feels good, I would choose to be the smartest in the room because I feel like that's just my personal preference, and based on my personality, that's the thing that I would choose. So thank you so much, Kayla, for your question.
Thank you, Angelina, for that thoughtful answer. Our next question is, if you had to eat one meal every day for the rest of your life, what would it be? And this one goes to Selena.
Thank you for the question. If I could eat one meal every single day for the rest of my life, what would it be? Most people would probably say an answer like salads because they want to be healthy, except I throw up whenever I see one. And I would probably choose to take a burger, but that's probably too oily, and I definitely get tired of having the same hamburger without any lettuce or tomato or onions every single day because I'm a very picky eater. And then I wouldn't want to just pick one food. You said a meal. So I think I'm going to pick a meal. So first of all, we'll start with the drink. I'm gonna go with cold water because sometimes the other drinks can be just not in what you're in the mood for. But I think water is a universally good drink. But I do want ice on it, so even if it's a hot day, it can cool me down. And it's usually very hot where I live. Now for one of the portions of my meal. I always love to have rice in the meal. It's just something that I need in every single meal to have a good meal. Maybe not in breakfast, but in lunch and dinner, it's a staple. And then we already have our drink and our grains. Now we need some protein. My favorite protein would be beef. If I did not have to pay for it, I would choose Wagyu beef. A5, fancy, Michelin star chef, maybe throw in a Gordon Ramsay. If I did have to pay for it, maybe supermarket beef would be fine. Now that we have all of those, we need some fruit. My favorite fruit would be dragon fruit, so I think that's what I would choose in a cup. And then we need dairy, so yogurt with some strawberries on top and jam. And that would be my ideal meal to have every single day.
Thank you, Selena. I definitely agree with your food choices. Okay, next. If you could eliminate one food so no one could eat it ever again, what would you destroy? And this question goes to Howard.
Thank you. It's a bit noisy over here, so if you could please repeat that question one more time, that'd be great. Thank you.
If you could eliminate one food so no one could eat it ever again, what would you destroy?
Oh, thank you. So, this is going to be an extremely easy choice. This disgusting, heinous piece of so-called food to our society that's been plaguing us from the beginning of time is what we call mushrooms, okay? Mushrooms are fundamentally not supposed to be eaten. Take a look. Mushrooms. Whenever you go into the wild and you randomly pick a mushroom, there's a 50-50 chance that you will die when you eat that mushroom. The other 50-50 chance means the other 50 of that chance means you will puke your guts out the moment you eat that mushroom. Did you know most of the mushrooms in this world are either drugs, a type of poison, or something that's so disgusting and was never meant to go into your stomach? Vegetables, I can understand. It provides you with nutrients. Meats, I also understand. It provides you with protein. But mushrooms do not provide you with any of the benefits in which a vegetable does. It does not contain any nutrients, as a mushroom is grown based off of the decaying wood or bodies of animals. And it also doesn't provide you with protein or sufficient protein, as it's a tiny little toxin pill, in my opinion. So in conclusion, I believe that mushrooms are disgusting and should never, ever be eaten again. And if I could remove it, I would, for the betterment of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. I definitely agree with you as I have not liked or eaten mushrooms since my childhood. Okay, next. If you could pick up a new skill in an instant, what would it be and why? This goes to Eliana.
If I could pick up a new skill in an instant, just right now, with no training at all, I would choose time management. Right now, I have a lot of work to do, and it's kind of all due soon. So what I would really need is some time management to help me out to get everything done fast, efficiently, and well. Well, you could say you could just use time management and learn it on the spot. I believe it takes a lot of practice, and I have not practiced. So I believe that if I could have a skill that I could learn in an instant, I would use time management, especially for right now when I need to study for midterms, and that would be very, very helpful in preserving my sanity. Okay, thank you, and back to you.
Thank you. I definitely do agree that time management is an extremely important skill. Okay. If you could live in any book or movie universe, which would you choose and why? This goes to Kara.
Sorry, you said any book or movie universe, right?
Yes.
Okay. If I could live in any book or movie universe of my choice, I think I would choose to live in the world in Sharon Messenger's Keeper of the Lost Cities. Because as much as I have my issues with the series, I think that the world itself is very appealing because the way it's described is a world where among all of these ordinary humans, there are also hidden societies where there are elves, as well as many other magical creatures. But under the assumption that I would be an elf, I would be able to be extremely beautiful and have magic-like abilities and skills. And the food in this world also is described to be absolutely amazing, with things like mallow melt, which is a cookie cake combination that is chocolatey and gooey, and things like custard bursts, which are desserts that have different flavors and a wonderful texture to boot. So I think that among all the possible worlds, I would choose the Keeper of the Lost Cities world, simply because of all the wonderful pleasures that would await me. Thank you. Back to you, Kayla.
Thank you, Cara. Keeper of the Lost Cities is also one of my favorite book series, so I definitely do agree. If you had to give a 30-minute presentation on something with no preparation, what would you talk about? This goes to Caleb.
I had to give a 30-minute presentation about anything. What would I talk about? Well, I think the thing I would talk about would be the Christian faith. And this may not be a topic that most people will like to hear, but it is a topic that I probably could get into a 30-minute presentation. And here's how I would structure the presentation. So I begin by explaining the biblical basis for why the world is the way it is, that people are fighting, that people do bad things, and that is because in the beginning of the world, Adam and Eve, the first two people, well, they sinned, and then the whole world began to fall apart. Then I would go on to describe some common misconceptions people have about the Bible and whether it's actually true. And this includes things like the 7,000 year period, the 7,000 year creation date instead of millions and millions of years. And I would explain some very concrete evidence as to why that is not true. I would also describe briefly some other interesting evidences, such as evidence for Noah's flood and other things that I think people might find very interesting. And then I would talk about the solution for these problems. And the solution is the sacrifice that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, did by coming down to the earth and giving his life as a sacrifice because he was perfect and he never sinned. And then by his resurrection from the dead, which occurs on Easter, which we celebrate on Easter, then he was able to conquer death and give everyone the gift of eternal life, as long as you believe in him and repent from all the wrongdoings that you have done. And that is basically how I would structure a 30-minute presentation. And I think I would be able to do it pretty good, hopefully, if I have enough preparation and if I'm led by the Holy Spirit. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topics Master Kayla.
Thank you, Caleb, for that detailed and well thought out response. Our next question is, if you could relive any day of your life, which day would you choose and why? This question goes to Devin.
Oopsie, sorry. Uh, if I could relive any day of my life, what day would it be and why? I would choose the day I first came to United States. that day was very special to me because it felt like the start of a completely new chapter of my life. I remember getting off the plane and looking around everything that was new and different. I felt excited, but also a little nervous because I knew my life was about to change for sure. Before that day, I had lived in China, and moving to America meant leaving behind familiar places, my friends, and daily routines. But at the same time, I knew it was an opportunity to grow and thrive and experience new things, which is great. I remember thinking about all the possibilities ahead of me, like learning in a new school, meeting new people, and exploring basically a different culture. And I believe that when I am an eighth grader, and yeah, so if I could relieve relive any day of my life, I would choose the day I first came to United States. Thank you, and back to you, Kayla.
Thank you, Devin. That was a very meaningful answer, and you seem to remember quite a lot about that day. So now, would you like me to ask more questions or end the table topic session?
If you have more questions prepared, I think it would be fine if we can continue.
Okay. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? This question goes to Selena.
If I could give my younger self one piece of advice, and assuming that I'd be like pretty young at that age, still not know a lot about the world, I would probably give this advice. In all caps, bolded. Stop watching your screen. After I watch my screen, it may not be my fault, but my eyesight has been degrading ever since. I have to wear contacts, and it's not very fun because I have to sleep for 8 hours when contacts, and I can't go into most sleepovers because I need to wear my contacts and they need to be extremely clean. Very, very clean so that I don't get an eye infection. And it's kind of scary to have contacts at first. And the time when I had glasses, I did not like my glasses at all. I chose a My Little Pony pair. It was not good. I wish I had not watched so much screen back then so I could watch more screen nowadays. But nowadays, I can't watch any screen time because every time I want to get a couple extra minutes, I'm reminded of the fact that every single night I have to put on my nighttime contacts and go to sleep, hoping that they don't fall off in the middle of the night. So, in all caps, bolded, perhaps add some screaming, red flakes, some explosions. I really need to get the message to sink into my tiny brain because maybe it would have been a lot better for me, or for what I think would be a lot better for me. And let's just face it, I really want to go to a lot of more sleepovers, but having um, a liability of contacts that you have to carry almost everywhere if you want to travel. Yeah, it's not very fun. I can't go to any overnight camps because I have contacts, and the wooden bathroom where everybody threw up in is not a good place to set them up. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Selena. I personally do not have contacts, but it sounds like quite a pain. Okay, next question. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would you choose and why? This one goes to Angelina.
Thank you for the question. So if I could choose to meet and have a meal with any historical figure, who would I choose? This is a pretty hard question for me since I'm not really a history buff and I don't really enjoy reviewing history. But the one person who does come to mind is Michelle Obama. And although she's not technically a historical figure, I think she has had a lot of influence on my local community since I go to the school that she attended before. And at our school, there's a lot of talk about her achievements and how she became a very influential First Lady of the President. And I think being able to talk to her and gain some insight about how she got where she is today, and also about the challenges she might have faced during her journey there as well, and how she overcame those would be very good advice. Additionally, I think being able to meet with her would just be a really great learning opportunity for me as well. And it would allow me to expand my mindset and become more open-minded about the possibilities that I can have in the future, since I believe she probably didn't imagine that she would go so far when she was in college as well. So I think overall, being able to talk to her and meet her would be a very valuable experience. And although she's not really a historical figure, I think she has definitely had a lot of influence on the world we know today. So thank you, and back to you, Caleb.
Thank you again, Angelina, for that thoughtful response. Okay, next question is, how would you change your life today if the average life expectancy was 400 years? This question goes to Eliana.
If the world life expectancy was suddenly 400 years, and I was, okay, I can't do math, but somewhere like in the lower half. But I would, what I would do is I would possibly work harder in my school because obviously I have a lot more time. Afterwards, maybe I would take a little more breaks and be a little slower, not stress as much because I have time, lots of time, and I'm only about like 1% done with my life. So, and if school was still the same length and not like the same percentage of your life, because that would be bad if it was 100 years, but if it was still around, I don't know, 22 years, then after that, you graduate. Maybe you work for a little bit once you build up your career or something. Then you still have like 300 years to enjoy life. So that's why I would work harder now, build up my future, and then I can enjoy it for the next, I don't know, centuries and centuries, having fun and enjoying everything. Thank you. And back to you, Kayla.
Thank you, Eliana, for that wise answer. Next question is, what would you do if you had unlimited time and money? This question goes to Devin.
Sorry, could you repeat the question again? Thanks.
What would you do if you had unlimited time and money?
What would I do if I have unlimited time and money? First of all, I would travel around the world. I would want to see even more cultures, meet new people, and learn how people live in various places. I think traveling like teaches you things that books can't always show you. Another thing that I would do is invest in education and opportunities for others. I would help build schools, libraries, and community programs so that more people can learn and improve their lives or, do charities. And because educations changes everything, and I believe everyone should have the chance to learn and grow. I would also spend time supporting my family and community. For example, I would help more immigrants who are new to the country understand language, culture, and how everything works here. Since I speak more than one language, I'm bilingual, I know how helpful communication can be. Finally, if would I would still spend time learning new things myself, and if I had unlimited time and money, I would travel the world, I would invest education, I would support my family and community. Thank you, and back to you, Kayla.
Thank you, Devin. Those are definitely very honorable causes that you would spend time doing. Next question is, if you could make one rule that all the kids at your school had to follow, what would it be? This question goes to Kara.
If I had to create one rule, just one, for all the students in my school to follow, I would choose to force all of them to stop doing the in class. I think that it's a bit old by now, and at one point it was absolutely everywhere, and it's gotten a lot less common since then. However, I am still seeing it around, and every time that I look at the numbers normally, not remembering about it, someone is there to remind me. And you may say that, oh, it's all right, it's just a fun little joke, there's no harm in it. But tell that to the younger generations, because when they see us doing it, they are bound to imitate. And if you have a little sibling, you will probably know that when it is a younger person who is doing it, it can become very loud, very uncontrollable, and difficult to stop. So, in order to preserve our collective sanity a little bit more, I would urge everybody in my school to stop making that non-joke all the time. And that is the one way I would use my tremendous power over everyone in my school. Thank you, and back to you, Kayla.
Thank you, Kara. I definitely agree with you on that. Now I would like to hand the stage over to our Toastmaster, Caleb.
All right, thank you so much, Kayla, for that wonderful table topic session. And I haven't had that much fun in a table topic session in a long time. So great job, Kayla, on those questions. All right, now we're going to move on to the general evaluation portion, which is led by Angelina. Take it away, Angelina.
Thank you, Caleb. So to start off the evaluation portion of the meeting, we will start by introducing our speech one evaluator, who is Caleb.
Thank you, Angelina. Kara, as I mentioned before, I think your speech hits the nail on the head. And as someone who just went through the college application, it wasn't super stressful for me, but I was able to do a lot of the things that you mentioned, as in, taking classes that I really cared about, doing things that I really cared about, and I think that was very important in my personal journey, and I really appreciate you sharing that with everyone. So I like the things in your speech where you mentioned you had a lot of great catchphrases. Live in the present, suffer now, play later, work hard, play later. And you have a very clear and logical way of explaining yourself, and it's very structured. And when you explain a certain point, for example, what suffer now, play later means, you're able to connect with the audience in a very simple and meaningful way. You also gave some relatable examples. And you also mentioned, of course, more phrases that I noted down, like not a series of goals, but a series of journeys. Do what you love. Great job for that. For things that you could possibly do to improve, I really don't have that many. I'll just go to what you could do to challenge yourself. What I would challenge you to do is begin with a personal story or a story of someone you know who maybe had a negative experience with their college applications, or perhaps some other maybe negative experience. That way you really hook the audience. Positive experience, positive. But if it's negative, maybe we'll get hooked into the story. And then perhaps make the boundaries in your speech topic slightly clear. So what I mean by this is it seemed like the whole speech was a slur. Like I'm thinking in music, for example, when you're when you have a phrase and you have a big slur tying everything together, I would suggest maybe breaking up the slur into smaller sections. So I personally did not really distinguish when you were changing from, like, for example, explaining suffer now, play later to going into the other different aspects of college application. It just seemed all slurred together, like in a measure. So I would suggest simply just add a few more slurs to break them up and have a bit more focus on each segment of your speech. Something very minor. And overall, I really enjoyed your speech, and congratulations once again, and wishing you the best of luck in your personal college applications. Thank you, and back to General Evaluator Angelina.
Thank you, Caleb, for that very informative and thoughtful evaluation. Now we will be moving on to the Aug Counselor and Grammarian, or the Aug Grammarian report, which will be given by Caleb.
For speaker one, Kara, I heard some maybe prolonged so's or ands, but otherwise it was pretty clean and it ran smoothly. For the table topics, I kind of lost track of everybody, but I remember hearing a few uhs or pauses, but nothing too major. And then for the grammarian, for speaker one, Kara, I really enjoyed the different phrases that you use, such as live in the present, suffer now, play later, do what you love. All of those were very catchy, and yes, I appreciated them. You also said, what does a good mindset look like? And I believe you could have used a stronger word, such as a favorable mindset or positive mindset. You could probably think of better words than that. For the table topics, I also didn't really catch anything, but for Howard, he used a lot of long phrases such as fundamentally or plagued that really did enhance his answer. Yeah, so that's it. Back to you, General Evaluator Angelina.
Thank you for the Aug Grammarian report. Next, we will move on to our timers report, which will be given by Eliana.
Okay. Overall, we were very in the time limits today, including all the table topics, speakers, so I'm proud of everyone. Okay. Speaker one, Kara, 7 minutes and 53 seconds. But speaker table topics 1 minute and 4 seconds. Table topic speaker two, Selena, 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Table topic speaker three, Howard, 1 minute and 42 seconds. Table topic speaker 4, Eliana, 1 minute and 8 seconds. Table topic speaker 5, Kara, 1 minute 34 seconds. Table topic speaker 6, Caleb, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Table topic speaker 7, Devin, 1 minute 40 seconds. Table topic speaker 8, Selena, 1 minute 55 seconds. Table topic speaker 9, Angelina, 1 minute 41 seconds. Table topic speaker 10, Eliana, I forgot to time myself. Table topic speaker 11, Devin, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Table topic speaker 12, Kara, 1 minute and 45 seconds. So as I said, everyone was quite in the time limit. Evaluator 1, Caleb, had 2 minutes and 33 seconds, which is right in the middle of the allotted time. Mary and Kayla had a time of 1 minute and 32 seconds, and that is all. So great job, everyone, keeping in the time limits, and I hope we will do that again in the future. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Eliana, for your timers report. It is good to hear that most of us were in our time limits today, and that is a very good sign. So I will now give my final evaluation and comments for today's meeting. So overall, I think even though we had a few ups and downs at the beginning, we were able to work things out, which is great. So thank you to all of you for stepping in for roles and participating in today's meeting. I also really enjoyed Kara's speech about college applications since that is very relevant to, I think, everyone here. And I think she gave us a lot of great advice as well. For the table topic session, I think it was a nice table topic section with a lot of humor today, and a lot of people embedded humor into their responses, which made it very enjoyable as well. And Kayla also prepared great questions that were very engaging and interesting to answer. For our final evaluation section, I think our speech evaluator, Caleb, gave really great advice that everyone could probably implement in some way into their own future speeches as well. And our algrammarian and timer were great functionaries and gave really good and accurate suggestions on how we could improve and what we did well during today's meeting. So overall, I think we had another productive meeting today, and I really enjoyed the speech that Kara gave and the table topics questions that were prepared by Caleb. So we have a couple of minutes left in the meeting, which I don't believe is enough time for a short activity, but since spring break is coming up for me, I don't know if it is for you guys. Do any of you guys have any plans over spring break? You can
This
just
week,
unmute. Yeah.
this week is my spring break.
Is it spring break for anyone else right now? No? Do you guys have spring break where you live? Or no? Yeah. I actually don't have any plans during spring break either, but I was wondering if you guys are traveling anywhere. Because it would also be great if we could hear a speech about you visiting other places of the world as well. Is there
Yes,
any, oh,
Kayla and I will be traveling on April 8th. That's our spring break week.
do you mind me asking where you guys are gonna go?
Canada.
Oh, that sounds fun. Okay, well, it would definitely be great to hear your experiences there and how you feel about going to Canada. What is everyone else doing during spring break? Are you just preparing for school? I see Caleb shaking his head. What are your plans?
I'm just gonna be home and I need to practice this piano piece really hard. It's Claire de Lune by Debussy, and I'll be performing it in a couple months. And I need it to come together quickly so that I can start really polishing it. So that'll be my spring break plans, just practicing a lot of piano.
I see. I definitely heard that that piece is pretty challenging, so good luck with that. I think you'll be able to do it though. Um, so if no one else would like to share, are there any comments or final questions from anyone or feedback that anyone like to get? It sounds like everyone is good. So then I will adjourn today's meeting a few minutes early at, I believe, 6:57 Pacific time. And if no one has any other questions, comments, or feedback, I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
All right,
Thank
thank you for
you.
coming. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great weekend.